Yo, I just published From Spreads to Fees, Strike's new tiered fee pricing structure. Simple, transparent, and cheap pricing for Bitcoiners. We are getting rid of those spreads. It's about a 5 to 10 minute read, the blog post. It's really good. It's got a lot of detail in there. But as I mentioned, everything we announce, I'm going to do a presentation for you as well. I want to be able to walk through and give an overview visually of the changes that we make in the products we launch at Strike. So this one I am super excited about, as I'll get into in a second, but there's no doubt about it, it's a big change. And so I wanted to make sure I put together a little presentation and gave a little overview of what's going on and why we're so excited at Strike. All right, so let's get into it. From spreads to fees, what the hell am I talking about? A little bit of history at Strike. So I founded Strike almost 4 years ago at this point, and we've had a product in market and started to build a customer base about 3 years now. And first of all, what do we do as a business? Strike, we consider ourselves one of the best in the world at Bitcoin. We don't focus on other cryptocurrencies. We're strictly here to build Bitcoin technology. And we help our customers get into Bitcoin, get out of Bitcoin, and use Bitcoin. That's it. So buy, sell Bitcoin, store Bitcoin, move Bitcoin, use Bitcoin for cross-currency payments, use Bitcoin for payment processing, B2B Bitcoin, OTC desk, powering other companies' Bitcoin infrastructure, right? Bitcoin. We want to be one of the best in the world at Bitcoin. We want to do Bitcoin in as many places in the world as we possibly can. That's what we do. Now, it is a business. This is not my charitable donation to the world. I've got employees. I've got an office. I've got bills to pay. And so we don't think of you all as users as much as we think of you as customers. Now, over these years, one of the ways we've monetized Strike and all the volume that we do on our platform is what's called a spread. And it was in summer of 2021 when we first started allowing customers to buy and sell Bitcoin on our app, and where I introduced this idea of a spread. And I said there will be a spread. Now, what is that? A spread is the difference between what's called the bid and the ask, the buy and the sell, right? And so this visual helps you really understand it. Is if the bid is $10 and the ask is $10.25, then the spread is that 0.25. Right? And so that's traditionally how we've made money, and that's how many other companies have made money in the past. Spread is a thing in finance, and way back in the day, it also made a lot more sense for us because we were doing all sorts of cross-border payment stuff. We still are today, but specifically for the buy-sell, we rolled that into our products. We let it ride. We've been growing. It's been great. And that is what a spread is and how we've traditionally done things. So how much did we charge and how were we monetizing before? Our spreads over the years have gone as low as 10 basis points, so 0.1%, all the way to over 1% at times, despite me not even wanting to charge that. The reason for that is there's all sorts of variables that go into this type of stuff. Like, how big is the order? What type of market volatility are we experiencing? Is Sam Bankman-Fried collapsing in real time, and is everyone having a panic attack? What's the use case? Is someone sending dollars to be received as Naira in Nigeria, or is someone buying 50 grand worth of Bitcoin? Where are they using our software? Is it in our dashboard? Is it in our B2B services, right? There's all sorts of variables, but I would say it would range between 0.1% to a little over 1%. Now, what's the typical classic average? I just downloaded Strike and I'm just getting started. It's right here on the screen. So this is from btcpricetools.com. Did I get that website right? And they have us at 0.95%. This is actually really accurate. According to our turtle data, it's a little lower on average, but it's around that 0.9% range, and 0.8 of that is for us, and 0.1 of that was the market maker. And so that's how we traditionally, like as of last week, monetized Strike and afforded our business to continue to build products, get into Strike Europe and all that great stuff, and continue fighting the good fight, hopefully for the centuries to come, and service our customers. Now, you guys have given me feedback over the years, which I love. You're never gonna be able to hurt my feelings. I really do read almost everything that you guys have to say to me, and I love it. And over the years, it's very clear you don't like the spreads. You don't think they're transparent enough. they're not very clear to you, it's very difficult to understand what's going on. All of these things which I would never ever want my customers experiencing. It was never my intent. And so I actually, I keep folders sometimes of a lot of the feedback that you guys have, because I really try and digest it and understand what's going on and give me a good pulse on where to build and what could be potentially an area for us to improve. And so these are some of my favorite ones. Zero fees but higher price, but a spread, right? And strike, please fix this, I shall at Endprint Money. Hopefully, just tagging Manuela, our product lead, you can add some transparency into what's going on. That we can do. There's Reddit threads of our customers trying to explain how things are working, and let us pay a small fee rather than a massive spread. Done. And so also just part of this announcement and us doing this, I think it's a really cool opportunity for me and the Strike company, all my employees, to let you guys know we're listening and we're always iterating. There's never of you guys think something's right and we think the opposite. It can't be an argument. We're here to work for you. What you guys think is always right. And so it became clear to us, you guys have an opinion that the spreads, you didn't like them. You did not like them. And the fees is what you were more interested in. It's a lot more clear. It adds more transparency. It's easier to understand. So we went through the work and actually made that change. And so that is the essence of this announcement and what I'm going to walk you through. So real quick before I dig into it, we took a second as a company and we said, okay, well, hold on a second. Clearly people would rather have fees than spreads. Fine, no problem. Makes a ton of sense in hindsight. Maybe I can take ownership and say maybe I should have caught on to that earlier based on customer feedback. I own that. Love it, and I'm actually really proud of what we have. But we also took the opportunity to actually take a step back and say, let's not just flip the switch from spreads to fees. What would a Bitcoiner really want pricing to be? Is there an opportunity for us to be innovative? Because as long as we're going back and revisiting something as 101 as our pricing, can we take what we've learned over the years and apply anything interesting? And we actually have. And so that's why it's not Strike's new fees, it's tiered fees. We actually have done something that I think is pretty cool, and applied a tiering structure to our fees. So it's not just from spreads to fees, but you'll see actually gets cheaper the more you Bitcoin. So anyway, the what? So we're getting rid of the spreads. The only spread you'll get from Strike now is whatever we get from the market maker. Call it 5 basis points, 10 basis points, whatever that is. And we're going to be giving you a fee. Let's walk through it. What are these fees? Oop, my big head is blocking the rest of that sentence up top, but who cares? Here's our new tiered fee structure. So tiered fees, meaning that you're going to be in tiers depending on how much you use Strike. One of the things we realize is the Bitcoiner's journey is the same story for everyone. You hear about Bitcoin, it piques your interest, maybe you download something like Coinbase, but then a couple more podcasts, you start eating steak, and all of a sudden, you're orange pilled fully, and you are a full-on Bitcoiner. And we wanted our pricing to reflect that. The customer journey that we've seen and the majority of our customer base are all fully orange-pilled Bitcoiners that download Strike and then start to use it more and more and more and more, and maybe they live on Bitcoin like me. And so we wanted to be part of that journey, and we wanted to have it so that the more you're a Bitcoiner, the more valuable Strike is to you. And so we have these tiers, like if you do less than $250 a month on Strike, if you're between $250 to $2,000, all the way to if you're over $500,000 a month, we'll give you further and further and further discounts. And so the 0.99 is pretty much the same thing that we do today, right? And you'll never pay more than 1% in fees from Strike, no matter who you are. And we care deeply about being really, really cheap, really, really inclusive. We want to be really, really competitive. And so that's as expensive as it'll get. But if you do a lot of Bitcoin stuff with us over a month, you got some DCAs going, you get paid in Bitcoin with direct deposit, you do a smash buy here or there. And if you do a lot of activity with us, the more valuable we become to you as a business and as a Bitcoin service provider. And so I'm really pumped about this. I'll get into a sec, how competitive is this? Did you get more expensive? I got some slides for that. But then quickly, what counts as volume. So you're going to be in these tiers, right? So we basically are saying, how much of a Bitcoiner are you? The more of a Bitcoiner you are, the more I'm willing to waive fees and give you a discount and make sure that we're as competitive as you'll find in the world, right? Buying Bitcoin, selling Bitcoin, your DCAs and your direct deposit pay me in Bitcoin, direct deposit conversions are all what we count in these volume tiers. Okay, so this is the volume that we're counting as, buying and selling Bitcoin, and the more you do at Strike, the more and more of a discount we'll give you. And so, real quick, a plug for private before I get into what the hell, are you more expensive? How does this compare to everybody else? If you're doing more volume than what I just showed, we do have a white glove service. If you call me, I could call Jack, I need 1,000 Bitcoin. Well, I'm not bucketing you in our app tiers. I'm happy to give you as custom price. I told you we go all the way down to 10 basis points, sometimes 0.1%. So if you are a high rolling customer that needs my personal help, you can email private@strike.me and we'll take care of you and you'll get some custom pricing from us. So a little plug for private. If you're bigger than doing activity on the app itself, you could private@strike.me. Okay. So the logical question after this, you're going from spreads to fees and you got these tiers going on. What the heck, Jack? I thought you tried to be a cheap Bitcoin service provider. Is this still a cheap way to buy Bitcoin? How does this compare to the market? The answer is yes, it does. Now, I don't want to make this video long, but this is a hard one for me because I see a ton of pricing FUD in Bitcoin, period. I see all sorts of FUD, and sometimes Strike gets dragged into that. I do see FUD about us sometimes. Whatever, it's not a big deal. It's par for the course. I'm used to it at this point. But in order for me to assure you and show us compared to the rest of the market, I collected some data and we built some visuals that make it pretty clear, like our pricing really kicks ass. I'm really proud of it. However, I'm not talking down on any other Bitcoin company. I need to make that super clear. I think there's plenty of room for all of us to win. If it were up to me, every Bitcoin only business would win, and I think we will. So this is a huge disclaimer. I'm in no way. I love all of these businesses. And by the way, another important disclaimer, this is not apples to apples because some companies do discounted DCAs, direct deposits. There's all sorts of different incentives and different ways that businesses attract customers. And I could never have made a visual or a dashboard or a website that encompasses everything. All we did was take the all-in cost of buying Bitcoin straight up. I want to purchase, and we compared ourselves and our new pricing just to assure you all that we are what we say we are, because I think that matters, right? So here's a visual of Bitcoin-only companies' all-in cost benchmark, and these are smaller orders from 0 to 10 grand. And the thing that I think is really cool to visualize is you can see Strike stair step its way down, right? Because the more volume that you do with us in a month, the more of a discount we're able to give you. And how much cheaper are we than the market? Or basically, listen, guys, again, I love all of these businesses, and I sincerely mean that. And many of these people and the founders, like you guys know, Jack's my really good friend, right? So I think that we just want to make sure that no one thinks I'm not. When I say I want to be one of the cheapest, I really care about that. That's been part of Strike's mantra, and we've worked super hard to operate at the scale and put in the work to be able to give that to you. I just want you to know that I'm a man of my word on that. So this is a good visual, and then for the much larger orders, you can see we really get discounted. We're really, really giving you, if you're a whale out there, you want to wire in 250 grand and buy some Bitcoin, we give you a really, really good offer that's hard to beat. And so these visuals will be in the blog if you want to zoom in on them, if you want to fact check me and tweet at me. You say, hey, that's wrong. I'm happy to take a look, share how I did it. But I think that this is a great way to visualize this new pricing tier structure. Did Strike get more expensive? Is Strike making all these changes because X, Y, and the third? No, we're absolutely not. We're listening to feedback from our customers. You guys didn't like the spreads, get them out of here. And as long as we were working on it, hey, can we be innovative? And implementing these volume-based tiers over a month, I think is really, really cool. It makes us really, really unique. All right, the last section. how did we arrive at this conclusion? I just wanted to put in a slide the 3 main things that I told my team we want to focus on when you're drafting copy, when you're building the website, when you're designing the screens, when we're engineering, when we're interviewing customers. Focus on transparency. I wrote in the 2024 Look Ahead blog post, we want to become one of the most transparent companies in the space. I think Bitcoin bleeds transparency. It's a fully auditable public ledger. And so as a Bitcoin business that wants to be the best at Bitcoin, we got to bleed it too. And so how transparent can we be? Cost. How cheap can we be compared to the market? And incentives. Is the more you become a Bitcoiner on Strike, the more valuable Strike becomes to you as a Bitcoin business. And so these were the 3 things that we laid out as a team and say, if we can do good work on these 3, I'd bet that Bitcoiners grow to love what we have. And so that was our main focus. And so I think we're now more transparent, we're cheaper, you could see it stair step down, right? I mean, if someone wires me $1 million to buy Bitcoin, I'm giving them a really good deal. And incentives is that if you do Bitcoin, we'd love for you to do it at Strike. And the more you do, the cheaper we're able to discount you and offer. And we've got, in my opinion, one of the best Lightning wallets in the world. We've got free on-chain Bitcoin withdrawals. I mean, we're really packing a punch nowadays with our product. I'm super proud of the team and I'm super proud of this effort. So the rollout, you're going to be watching this on a Monday. I'm recording it Monday, February 12th. I don't pre-record these things. It doesn't start rolling out until Tuesday, okay? And it's going to take about a week. You know, no company at our scale, at least that I'm aware of, can just flip a switch like that. Rolling out new anythings just takes a second. So if you don't see these reflected tomorrow, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Within about a week, all of our customers will have this new change. If you ever have any issues, you don't like your limits, anything like that, you could DM me, you could DM the Strike Twitter handle, you could reach out to us at support@strike.me. But don't expect this to be updated as soon as you watch this video. It will not. It will take a week. Thank you for being patient with us. It's just how updates go. No matter what we launch at this point, it's just going to take a second. And the last slide I got is thank you. I really appreciate it. At this point, the video may be longer than the blog. It's not my intent, but I do want to just spend a second and say thank you guys. We're a business, right? And I would not be able to pay the bills and launch Strike Africa and Strike Europe and continue to innovate on the front lines of Bitcoin if I didn't have any customers. So this is how you support us, you support me. We really appreciate all of the love and the support and the usage. I mean, I mentioned 2023 was our biggest year ever. January was our biggest month ever. We love building Bitcoin tools for you guys and really appreciate the support you give us as a company. So thanks again. Hopefully this isn't too long, but really clear overview of the change. And you ping me anytime if you have an issue, you need something with your account, or you have feedback for me, because we are listening and we are building. All right, happy 50K. I'll talk to you guys on the internet.